Hello, Grimace, and welcome to your 5th day on Consolitude. Yesterday's Fortnite Friday was a lot of fun, and thank you to everyone for tuning in for that. Grimace was able to do a lot of work and managed to complete 4 easy tier challenges and 1 medium tier challenge after a long, grueling, extra hours day of Fortnite here with us on the show. We think Fortnite is a great game, and we are sure there's going to be many more after hours sessions of play to look forward to in the future. But for now, it's back to business as usual here on Consolitude, and from now on, we will be going back to our tier 1 structure and challenges for the games in question. Throughout the week, I have promised that on this weekend, we were going to have one day in Consolitude dedicated to one game and one game only. This is something that we will occasionally do tier to tier to tier, depending on the game and depending on the consoles, as a way to acknowledge very specific special games in console gaming history. Anytime we take a game and feature it exclusively as the only game with challenges for the day, there's very good reasons for it. These games should be considered the titans amongst their peers in the gaming community. These are like the end-all be-all of what they represent within console gaming history. A few variables that would determine whether or not a game is worthy of such merits would be something like, how important was the game at the time that the game came out? Overall, how satisfying was a full playthrough experience with this game? Does this game have incredible replay value? Is it a game people enjoy watching? Does it have a healthy life as a spectator sport? There are a few other variables that you could associate to a game that is worthy enough to be the sole game on a day of Consolitude. But for now, those ones probably apply to the next game more so than others. The game in question for today is for Nintendo 64, and it is none other than the one and only Mario 64. I mean, you probably all saw this coming, let's be honest. Mario 64, in my opinion, is quite simply the definitive console platformer. This game changed the scope for platform gaming forever. When it came out, it was way ahead of its time. It blew everyone away and was an instant classic. It's just that good. The level designs, while not truly open world in the sense of how big they could be, were still pretty freaking big. And at the time, we hadn't seen anything like this. I mean, the level designs were clever, the puzzles were really fun to explore. There was so much open creativity in building and playing this game. It was unprecedented. It changed the pace for how we would view the 3D model in the video games we were playing. The fact that it's Mario obviously helped it, but it wasn't even necessary to have the overall success of this game. It fueled its fire, but at the end of the day, this game set the standard for tons of games that came after it for the 3D platformer open world experience. This started it all, and to this day continues to be an extremely popular and well thought out game that people still enjoy playing. So Grimace, today your challenge is Mario 64. All day long, 8 hours of Mario 64 from scratch. And your challenge is to get as many stars in this game as you possibly can before the timer hits 0 at 7 p.m. Now, what's interesting about this is there are so many different stars in Mario 64 you can go for. And there's all kinds of different methods and plans of attack here, but typically those sorts of ideologies are reserved for the speedrunners. I mean, let's be honest, when we think Mario 64 these days, we typically think about the speedrunning community. But this time, you're starting from scratch, and I'm going to go ahead and assume you probably haven't played this game in a little while, which is what makes this more interesting in terms of seeing how someone approaches it from a perspective of not knowing where they're going. See, I have nothing against the speedrunning community. I actually think they're exceptional gamers, and what they do with Mario 64 is simply amazing. I love watching it myself. However, I do think there is a really cool sense of fun in going back and exploring this game with fresh eyes when you haven't in a long time. Because the speedrunners will go through mechanics and make it all look so easy and, you know, glitched a little bit here and there. And the fact is that Mario 64 is not that easy of a game. To its credit, I mean, it was designed really well, and it's certainly beatable. The speedrunners prove that. But it's challenging in its own right for any, normal plebs like us who don't play this game that frequently. So the challenge is, as said, get as many stars as possible. And the tiers that you're going to complete for prizes for the audience are going to be, once you reach 30 stars, you unlock an easy tier challenge prize for the audience. If you get to 60 stars, you unlock a medium tier prize for the audience. And if you get to 90 stars, you will unlock a hard challenge for the audience. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, even though I know it's probably impossible. If you were to actually get 120 stars, we'll give you an epic tier challenge prize for the audience as well. But let's be honest, I'm only throwing that in there for the fun of it because I don't expect that to happen. As far as yourself though, Grimace, for every star before 50 you earn, you're going to get 2 tier points. And every star after 50 you earn, you're going to get 3 tier points. So that means if you were to say earn 100 stars, that would come out to 250 tier points. Considering you juiced your tier points total yesterday from 325 all the way to 600, you've only got 500 to go. So at a really good run today, you could theoretically cut your remaining tier 1 goal in half if you did really, really well. With all those different stars to get and all those different puzzles to beat, all those different map exploration points to make, today is a day where your tips and hints are going to save Grimace's life. They are going to be vital to him quickly knocking out these stars, so keep that in mind and be sure to let him know where the next star is that he should be hunting for whenever possible. There are plenty of guides on this game out there, so it should not be that difficult for you to aid him in making sure he completes as many stars as possible in the time he's given. So there you have it, Grimace. Mario 64 Day, get as many stars as possible. It's that easy, and it should be incredibly fun to watch you go through this game from the very beginning, and I very, very much look forward to seeing this game all over again. Anyhow, that's it. Let's move on to Mario 64 Day. Grimace, you may begin when you're ready. Have fun, everybody.